What we've got so far is just the basic structure of our accordion, which obviously doesn't work yet because we haven't got any JavaScript here. Okay, if we go back and open our functions.js, let's start by typing document.ready and function, and in between the opening closing curly brace, first we're going to check if our div exists with the ID of ACC. And we do this by typing dot length is small than 0. So if it exists, then we copy its name again with a $sign before this, and we add DT because this is what we're interested in. So when you click on it, then we execute the function. Again, opening, closing curly braces. First of all, we create a variable called self or selector, and we'll assign the value of this to it so we know exactly which one has been clicked. Now we also add two classes to this selector, so cell.add class, and in between double quotes, first class will be act and the second one will be current, and a semicolon right at the end. Now we are going to be looping basically through all of the DD tags of the parent element, which obviously is DL. If you look at our index.php, our parent element here is DL. So we're going to refer to the parent. So if we start with cell.parent.children now, and we're only interested in DD tags, then each function, and again, opening, closing curly brace. First of all, we're going to check if the specific DD tag is visible. In other words, if it's opened. So if this dot is colon visible, and we also check if the previous tag, which will be DT, hasn't got class current assigned to it. So exclamation mark, this dot pref, and the tag is DT that we're interested in, has class current. In other words, it hasn't, obviously, because we have this exclamation mark. So we're checking if it hasn't got class current. In that case, we're going to execute something. If it has current, that means this is the one which we've just clicked. So this loop doesn't apply to this specific element. Now another condition: if this dot pref, again DT tag, has class act, obviously current will also have class act, but any other that also has class act at the moment assigned to it, we want to remove this class from this one and only assign it to the one which we've clicked, obviously. So we want this red background to be gone and only appear on the active one. So this dot pref dt dot remove class act. Okay, and after this condition, the second condition, we want to also slide the DD tag up if it obviously is visible, which means if it was open. So slide up at the speed of 300 is going to be just fine. Okay, so this way we are going to close all of the opened elements, DD elements, and we will remove all active classes from it. Okay, next cell, next, which means next element, slide toggle at the speed of 300. So if we look at our index, if we clicked on this specific DT heading, then obviously this one will slide down, because slide toggle, what it does, it checks if it's visible, then slide it up. If it's not visible, then slide it down to obviously show it. So if we clicked on that and it wasn't active before, then obviously it will reveal the content of this DD tag. After 300, let's type comma and function, which will be called once this toggle has, slide toggle has finished. So now we're going to check if this is visible, or rather if it's not, because obviously we're using exclamation mark, which means if it isn't visible, which means if we clicked on this tag and obviously slide toggle find out that it was open and it's closing it, then we want to remove obviously active tag active class from this heading. So that's what we're going to do. If it isn't visible, then this dot previous, which is pref dt tag, remove class act. And then after the statement, let's also remove this current class, remove class current, because we obviously don't need this anymore. We've only added this class to make sure that within this each loop we can recognize and obviously make sure that we're not processing the one which has current class assigned to it. And right at the end, let's just return false to make sure that the page isn't flicking or anything like that. Okay, so that should now work. If we go back, refresh the page, if we click on the first heading, hey, it's becoming active and content is showing. We click on the next one, the other one, active state has disappeared, and obviously the content has slid up as well. If we use our fireback, you can now have a look at the code. If we select this tag, you can see it has class act assigned to it. If we click on the previous one, the class act has disappeared, obviously. So that's how it works. Now, then we clicked on this one, obviously class act is now assigned to it, and so on. So we've done our accordion. As you can see, it wasn't that difficult. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll speak to you in the next video.